Good evening, friends. Welcome to this IKS series talk today under the banner of the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan IKS Cell, SISLLD, and other allied institutions. Today's talk is on a very important topic of the Yamas and the Niyamas. We have been having series of interesting talks, and this is an addition to the menu of that. And to talk on this particular topic, we have with us a very eminent person, and that is Anumeha Gupta, and she's all the way from the USA. And therefore, we have delayed our usual timing from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. of Indian Standard Time. She's an Ayurveda health counselor, and she's also an energy healer. She has got a training in Ayurveda from Dr. Jay Apte, and she has got yogic training, that is the Vedic from the Vedic monk Mother Maya. She's an established yogic teacher in USA. So we welcome Madam Anumeha, and the floor is open to you, Madam.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Sengupta. Mr. Sengupta. Did I get it right? Yeah. No, Dr. Sengupta. Yes, we should never forget the doctor. But thank you so much and welcome everyone. So glad to see so many people interested in the Yamas and Niyamas. So before we continue, I would like to just chant a mantra to Goddess Saraswati for her blessings and at the same time also send gratitude to all my teachers, including my parents who are here today in the call. So if you can just close your eyes and I'll just chant the mantra and then we'll continue. Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Varde Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir me sada. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay, keeping the peace within, you can open your eyes. Okay, so it's very interesting because there's so much to talk about. But I'm just going to go with the flow and release all expectations of how this session is going to go. And trust that whatever needs to come will come through. Anyway, we are not the doers, we are just the channels. So, if you are here today to learn about yamas and niyamas, it's not because you chose to come today, it's because the yamas and niyamas thought you were ready. Or maybe you already know about it and you want to deepen your knowledge. But whatever it is, I find that the yamas and niyamas choose you. I remember many years back, I had booked a 1 week stay at Kaivalya Dham in Lonavala. It's a yoga and Ayurveda retreat. And after a few months, I found out that Dr. Ganesh Rao is going to give a 1 week immersion talk on Patanjali Yoga Sutras. And he is counted as one of the top 100 yoga teachers of India and a Vedic scholar and one of the best experts on Yoga Sutras. And I didn't know much about it, but I was already there. And I took it as a sign. So I signed up for his 1 week workshop, and that changed my life. The workshop was so beautiful. I enjoyed everything he had to teach. And I remember that I was still living in US at that time too. So when I was flying back, I was at the airport. And this is very interesting. So I was very excited about everything I had learned and I wanted to implement it right away. So I was at the airport and I had taken this porter. You get a porter who helps you with your luggage. He keeps the luggage on your trolley, he takes you for check in, everything, right? And there was a huge line at the security, very long line, and it is 2 a.m. at night. And the porter wants to be done with me so he can get the next client also, right? So he said, ma'am, you know what? Let me bring a wheelchair. Your son can sit on the wheelchair. Let's pretend that he needs the wheelchair and we'll get into the disabled line. And there are only three people there. And I thought about it and I said, this is going to clash against two of the yamas and niyamas. One, it's not true. Second, I'm stealing from someone who actually needs to be in that line. And I said, if I try to save time right now, I will spend the next few months or maybe even years remembering and feeling guilty about what I did, stealing my own peace of mind again and again. And I said, no, I am going to stand in this long line no matter what. He got very frustrated with me, but I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to follow this. And believe it or not, I stood in the line maybe for 5 minutes. And then a security guard came and they opened a new counter and they took the person right before me to start the new line. This is the magic of following yamas and niyamas. So, what is the history? The history is that there were so many yogis, right? In India, we have so many yogis and so enlightened. And yoga is not knowledge which comes from a lab. That is divine knowledge which comes from reaching higher levels of consciousness. So, when that information was downloaded, so many yogis wrote several texts on yoga, but there were too many. So, around 400 CE, which is around 4th century, Sheshnag, which you know is the Sheshnag and Vishnu, so you know that. Sheshnag took birth on earth as Patanjali, the sage Patanjali. And his purpose was to assimilate and collate all those texts and create a proper plan for people to follow because there was so much suffering, right? Mental, physical suffering. So he combined everything and created a 8 point plan, 8 point roadmap to achieve the one goal that most of us have, equanimity of mind. That no matter what, we can stay calm. Now, in the 8 points of, and this is called the yoga, Ashtanga yoga, right? The 8 points. But the first 2 points are yama and niyama. And you need to follow those and then come to the third point, which is asan, which is where you actually sit on the mat. So today I want to just focus on yamas and niyamas. Each one of them have 5 points each. So my goal is to go through my whole slide deck. I have collected information from the 1 week immersion that I had with Dr. Ganesh Rao, books that I've read, as well as my own experience. And we'll go through all the points. And if you have questions, please note them. We'll do them later. Okay. So I'm just going to share my screen. So this Yoga Sutras not only offers a vision to our life, but also the path to reach there. And the other thing I want to say is the most successful and the strongest person in the world, the mightiest and the richest person in the world, is really the person who can manage his mind. So that is our goal. The other thing I learned very interesting is what pulls us down, the same thing can be used to take us higher, which is in this case our mind. So these are the 8 steps. I'm just going to focus on first two. Yamas is how we behave towards others, and niyamas is how we behave towards self. In simple words, when we go against our conscience, that troubles the mind. And that's how we have too many thoughts and we can't be calm. So, how do we stay in line with our conscience? Ahimsa, non-violence. So, we will say, yeah, we don't cause any violence. We are such kind and gentle people. But we can always take each of these principles much deeper. For example, in ahimsa, it needs to be kayak, which is physical ahimsa, vachik is verbal, and even mansik, mental. For example, when we are driving and someone cuts us or is a very bad driver, is it possible for us to send him a blessing? And if someone is mean to us, even at that point, is it possible to bless that person, realizing that um, there may be something else going on? So, how do we maintain ahimsa at all three levels? The other thing I want to talk about here is self talk. Many times we are kind to others, but we can be very unkind to our own self. I remember that when my children were younger, I used to feel like I am not doing a good job as a mother, I have not cooked enough, I didn't take care enough, and I had all this negative self talk going on. And I noticed because I was not happy with myself, there were times when they wouldn't listen to me and I would get angry with them. Now, over the years, the more and more I have accepted myself, given myself grace, found contentment with who I am, I find the more peaceful I am with them because my mind is not so rattled. Vibrations and aura. So, this is very important because we are all connected energetically. And when we send someone any bad thoughts, they can feel the vibrations. And when we are very positive and we only think positive as much as we can, our vibration changes. And with every yama and every niyama, you start seeing gifts when you practice them. So this is so beautiful. Like you saw the gift I got when I was in the line for the airport. Now, the trick here is, which Dr. Ganesh Rao says, when you start seeing the gifts, the important part is don't feel proud because that is a trap and that will keep you stuck where you are. As a yogi, the detachment is so important. You see the gifts and then you still keep moving on without letting it get to your head. Now, what is the gift of practicing nonviolence? That your vibration becomes so positive that enmity around you disappears. And if you go to a party, the whole party will be very positive because your vibration has made everyone feel calm. So that's that. Now, in Yoga Sutras, before I go to the next point, there's so much. So, I have a document which I'll share with all of you later. That document you can read on your own, and there are journal questions. You can journal. And if you have friends, you all can do it as a group and discuss because it's great to do a Yoga Sutras deep dive over maybe 10 weeks, where every week you focus on one sutra. Today, we are only dipping our toe. Second is Satya, truthfulness. We'll say, oh, we are so truthful, right? Now, let's see more. The question is, can we be truthful without ahimsa? For example, if someone has a haircut and you don't like the haircut at all, and they come and ask you, do you like my hair? How can you be truthful at the same time not hurt this person's feelings? These are questions to be explored. Even I'm not here to give you answers, I'm just here to ask questions in a way. So, how do you do that? Secondly, if someone has cooked food, maybe your partner cooked food, you didn't like the food at all. They said, "How's the food?" And you say, "I didn't like it." Now, you are being honest, but you're also hurting the feelings. So, how can we be honest and kind is a big question. And one of the answers I learned recently was when the reply comes from your soul, it is never unkind. That is true authenticity. And I thought about it. If someone has cooked and gives me food, what will I say if I didn't like it? If I can really connect with my soul, I think I'll just be so grateful that they took the time to cook for me. And my answer would be so different. Okay. So, are half truths okay? We know it's so famous, right? You ask the child, "Will you clean your room?" He says, "Yes." And then it's not clean. And then he says, "But I never told you when." So, is that okay? That's also a kind of deception. Airport example, I already told you. And now the last 4 points are the gifts of telling the truth. One, whatever you say starts becoming true. Second, you face fewer and fewer opportunities where you are forced to lie. Third, people are attracted to you because they feel safe with you and they feel a strength in you which comes from being truthful. But at the same time, if you're someone who is not able to do ahimsa with truthfulness, then you need to see what's going on. So, the tricky part is combining ahimsa and satya. And the fourth gift is our true self reveals to us. So, this is a principle of Sanatan Dharma. This mantra means that we speak truth, we speak sweet, but no harsh truths and no sweet lies. And this is where I am stuck right now. I have an event and someone wants to come. And she said she would love to attend my event. And I told her I would love to have her. But the truth is, I actually don't feel love to have her. And I'm wondering, that is something right now I'm dealing with because this is a lifelong process of introspection and implementation. So, astheya is the third point, non stealing. And we'll say, "Oh, we don't steal anything." Yes, we actively might not steal anything, but there's so many other things that we are stealing without knowing. And I'll give you an example. Sometimes it's a very simple example, but sometimes we can park in a way that another car cannot fit behind us. And that's a very simple act of stealing. And the other example also with driving is sometimes when we are parked at the signal, maybe not in India, that's a yeah, that I leave to you. But like in US, sometimes people park very close to crosswalk, very close, and the other person is crossing. So that other person starts feeling very nervous. So somewhere you are stealing someone's peace of mind. I know it's not possible all the time to keep everyone peaceful around us, and it is not our job because many times they lose their peace of mind because of their own way of thinking, not what we've done. But if I come back to the goal is to be in line with our own conscience. So, what aligns with your conscience is what is for you. Okay, so what all do we steal without knowing? Time. I remember I used to sometimes not load the dishwasher, hoping that my partner would load it. So that's stealing someone's time. Peace of mind, privacy. Someone told you something secret and you share with others. or you malign someone's reputation. You take someone's energy, you steal someone's energy. Our parking spot, I already told you. Somewhere, stealing also happens because of fear of not having enough. That is one of the fears. The other example I want to give you is this has happened to me many times in the past, and now I'm very intentional to avoid it. If I have a guest coming home and I have some old vegetables in the fridge, I have been guilty of cooking them and making pav bhaji because the vegetables are used up and then the guest also gets food, and I feel it's a great choice. Great option. It's a win win. But I have spent days after that meal hoping that the guest is all right. so, so I robbed my own peace of mind. Thankfully, no guest has fallen sick, but if they did, I would rob them of their health. So, and when we follow Astheya, the benefit is that nature gives us its bounty. It feels so safe with us that we are not trying to clamor and demand and ask. And we've become so relaxed that nature wants to come to us and, and unveil her treasures to us. Hmm. So, one of the affirmations for Astheya is I am enough and I have enough. A parigraha is non-hoarding, and we can hold on to so much physically as well as mentally. So, physically, of course, like things and properties and everything we have, right? But mentally, also, when people are mean to us, then regrets, resentments, feeling guilt, anger. There's so many of these emotions that we hold on to, even sadness. So, believing that we are custodians and not owners, and this is more of the physical items, or even our children, realizing that we are like birds here to help them fly, that helps practice a parigram. And what we own actually owns us, realizing that. So, here I want to give an example. During COVID, you remember so many items were out of stock, and many people, especially I think in the US, had gone to the stores and they were filling up on toilet paper because that was really in scarce availability. But at that time, also realizing that we are all one family, and when we have too much, we have stolen from someone who might need it. And after learning about this, I consciously, now when I go to the store, I remember once I wanted Prash. I didn't get it at four stores. I went, actually, not four stores, let me think. I didn't get it at one store, which is my most favorite store. I went to the second store, and there were only two bottles. And I was very tempted to take both the bottles, but I had to remind myself that someone else might be needing it. And to tell myself that when I need the second bottle, it will be available for me. A shopping cart. This example is where I was very attached to being a good person. That can also be a flaw. I pride myself to be very honorable and do the right thing. But what it led to is at the supermarket, if people did not return the shopping cart back to its place, upset. And I would look at them with a little bit of like anger that this is wrong and judge them. And it has taken me time to release that attachment from being a good person and to give grace to people that everyone has their reason. Maybe they have a child in the car, they can't leave the child alone. Maybe they have a hip problem. Like, we don't know what's going on. And it's not my job to judge them. So, when we start practicing a parigraph, our mind becomes absolutely free. And when the mind is free, our true purpose in life will start showing up. He who binds to himself a joy does the winged life destroy. But he who kisses the joy as it flies lives in eternity's sunrise. William Blake. So, fifth one, Brahmacharya, following the path of the divine. And this has many meanings. Most of you know about celibacy as being one of them. That's the most popular one. But truly, it means how do we manage our energy? So, can we be more intentional? How to use our energy? Where are we using the life force, the prana that we have? How much time do we spend it on our gadgets? How much time we spend on other things? And there is no rule. There's no one telling you that this is right and this is wrong. All this comes from within. What is right for you? What makes you feel clear in your conscience? Moderation. Of course, we know everything needs to be in moderation, including food, activities, maybe using our cell phone, everything. We know that. But what happens when we practice moderation is the senses become strong and calm, and we can enjoy everything without indulging in it. Just like, very simple example, you eat something, you find it very tasty, and you order a second, you go for the second mm, serving, and it doesn't taste that good. So it's the same concept, but here I would like to give an example. Every morning, I used to eat breakfast and drop my child to school by walking. School was very close by. One morning, when I was walking, I smelled the fresh smell of a pine tree, and it was amazing. It felt like very light, fresh, and like it was higher consciousness. It made me feel very positive. And I thought to myself, I've been walking for the last like 4 months. How come only today I smelled this tree? And then I realized that was the first day where I had eaten less. Maybe because I was too late or something, but I had eaten less. And my senses became sharp. So, the benefit of practicing brahmacharya is we have more energy towards our purpose. Now, the handout that I have for all of you, and here I will stop 1 second. Before I go to the niyamas, I'll just take a break. Give me a minute. Yeah, I'll just come back to see all of you. So I have a handout for all of you. In that, in Brahmacharya, I have actually listed more about sex because that is one of the main ways of practicing Brahmacharya. And in Ayurveda, there are a lot of suggestions on how we can do it. So all that is in the handout that I will share. Okay. And can you show me by way of your hand, how is it going for you right now? Are you enjoying this? Okay, very nice. Thank you. Do note your questions for later. Okay. So thank you, everyone. I'm so glad. Wonderful to have such an engaged audience, right? Such a gift. So let's go to the next slide. Niyamas. So now it is how do we behave with ourselves? Earlier it was about others. And remember, there's no pressure to do everything. Whatever resonates for you is for you. Even if you just take one thing, even if you take nothing, there is zero pressure. Whatever needs to come to you will come. So, niyamas. First is contentment. There is a difference between satisfaction and contentment. Satisfaction is when you try for something, you achieve it or you get it, then you are satisfied. Contentment is this perennial flow of being content where you are. And that brings a sense of peace. And one of the ways of being there is to keep making a gratitude list every day as a practice. We have four fundamental emotions: anger, fear, sadness, and happiness. Here, you see, three of them are the challenging ones. And it's a constant pursuit somewhere, or it's work. It's constant work or effort to keep yourself in happiness. And the gratitude list definitely helps with that. Gratitude is a higher vibration, so it's very effective. And here again, I want to bring in the example of being a mother myself. I have two children, and here one more thing is coming up, so I want to share. When I was going to the retreat, I know I'm switching, but I hope you guys can follow along. So, when I was going to that retreat at Cavalier Dham, I had both my children, but I wanted a break. I wanted to invest in my own mental, emotional peace, and physical health. And I want to acknowledge here that my sister, who's also on this call, Anupama, she actually took care of my children for me. And that's how I could go. So I am very grateful to her, and this is coming up for me right now. So coming back to mother, as a mother, it's very hard for me to be content with where my children are. I always want them to do better, look better, dress better, eat better. Everything can be better. But I'm working hard and actually releasing a lot of this attachment and surrendering to them having their own path. Knowing that the divine is also guiding them, they have their own connection, and I can be content with what I have with them, which is the time I have with them, the meals I do get to eat with them, and enjoying good conversations. So that is my work right now. And I have done well on it already. I can feel that peace. So meal times are not battle times. So, yeah, so that's my example. And the benefit of practicing Santosha is you reach the highest level of happiness that ever is, that is ever there. Shocha, purity and cleanliness. I will speed up a little just because I want to keep time for the Q&A as well. So physical, mental cleanliness. Physical, of course, we know having bath, eating clean food, and keeping a space between food helps digest it. And the mental cleanliness is what are we watching? What are we reading? Is it positive? Is it scary? Is it negative? Mental cleanliness. Also, are we meditating? Because meditating helps burn those impurities. Or are we journaling? Releasing all our thoughts in a journal also helps to practice mental cleanliness. Pratipaksh bhavna is changing a negative thought into positive. Like I said, instead of being upset that my children are not eating enough, looking at what they are eating and being grateful for that. So, how do you switch your feelings and thoughts? Trusting that someone has best intention when someone is late, just trusting that they wanted to be on time, but maybe something happened. So, trusting that people always have best intention really helps to keep our mind clean towards them. And the benefit is we can transcend our body when we keep it clean, whether it's the food, whether it is the bath. This is the benefit. Now, this is from my notes from Dr. Ganesh Rao. I was wondering that maybe if we keep our mind clean, we can transcend our mind as well. And that's just my thought. I cannot confirm it. Tapas, to burn, physical, mental, or verbal. So, tapas, you most of you know, it is tapasya. Now, physical, of course, you do something every day physically, mentally. But here I want to focus on verbal. This is very interesting. Verbal tapasya is actually not talking too much. And the less we talk, the more we can be silent. That tapasya makes burns the extra words that we use. Some people talk too much, right? And very long sentences. But when you do tapas, you become very articulate. That is the first benefit. Second, it gives you the power to speak your truth. So, continuing, when we burn, there is heat and pain, and we suffer. But that is what helps to purge the impurities. That's how we do the austerities, penances, vows. And in my handout, I have suggestions of what all you can do for tapas. It quietens the ego. And this tapasya comes from within. No one will tell you what you need to do. You get to choose. And when you follow it, you start having a confidence which starts growing in you and an inner glow, because almost it's like when you're burning the impurities, your inner glow starts showing out, that radiance, and your body starts becoming more perfect, the body and mind. And I find that when you are disciplined in one thing, you develop the quality of discipline which you can then use everywhere else in your life. I'll give a quick example of a high school. I was at my son's high school volunteering. He had a very wonderful event after that, and a lot of parents were going to attend it. But he's a teenager, so I texted him asking for permission because many times he doesn't want me to be there at his school. And I said, "This event is happening. Is it okay if I attend it?" And he said, "No, I don't think I want you to be there." And all the parents said, this there are like 1,000 people in this hall. He'll not even know that you're in this room. Just come and attend. It's so fun. They'll be singing and dancing. And I said, it's more important for me that my son trusts me, and it will not go down with my conscience if I stay. So I left. And when my son came home, he actually told me that it was a fun event, and next time, mom, if you want to attend, you can come. He said on his own. So that is a kind of tapas which I try to do, where I try to keep people's trust. So there are different ways of doing this tapasya. It's up to you. Swadhyay, spiritual study or study of self, which we are doing today, all of us, right? So in Swadhyay, there are two steps. You learn from enlightened sages, and then whatever you learn, you can it and apply
हाँ
in your own.
नहीं
Yeah. So um, today, also, everything you have, the handout will help you contemplate and apply in your own life. Everything that you learned here today. And how do we practice Swadhyaya? We can study scriptures, have our own sadhana. We can be with like-minded group like all of you. Like-minded group is extremely important. As per Dr. Ganesh Rao, if you're not with like-minded people who have a spiritual orientation like you, that's a big, big killer of Swadhyaya. You don't want that. So, if you want to do one thing, that is focus on satsang. Chanting mantras, it is also tapas, and it helps as you do more tapas and chant mantras, your mind becomes more sattvic and you are able to uh, be more calm and understand your own self. Here I'll give an example of Diwali lights. Few years back, I was putting up Diwali lights in our garden, and it was me and my son, and my husband was inside. Mm, and I started thinking, poor me, again I'm putting the Diwali lights alone. Everyone's husband will help them and mine will not. And then I caught myself, and I'm very proud of that. I caught myself seeing that I was going into victim mode. And that's when I said, no, I am empowered. I am making a choice. When you start doing Swadhyay more and more, the gift is Ishta Devta Sampraya Yoga, which is the vision or darshan of God. And here I want to explain one thing. I have seen when people are dedicated to a certain God, for example, Shivji, and they pray a lot to Shiv, after many years, you start seeing the energy of Shiv in them. Their eyes are very strong and sharp. They're very focused people, disciplined, and you feel that energy of Shiv being carried in them. So that's my understanding of the gift. And final one is Ishwar Pranidhan, surrender to God, which, and just look at this photograph, right? Isn't this so pretty? I just look at this and I feel just so peaceful. And that's what happens to me when something is troubling me and then I just surrender it to God. If it's for me, it will come to me. Otherwise, it was never for me. And I also surrender to God if things don't make sense, that can you help me understand this? Or if I'm in the same pattern again and again, I say, think I need to learn something. Can you tell me what do I need to learn? So, Ishwar Pranidhan is gradually removing the I. Yeah, and yes. So, this is overcoming our ego, realizing that we are not the doers, we are an instrument of God, dedicating all our work to humanity, whatever we do. It doesn't mean work outside, anything we do. I remember there is one example in the handout about this monk who sees even washing dishes as his dedication to God. Every simple step becomes sacred. And Dr. Ganesh Rao suggests that if we chant Om 108 times every day, that's a simple step to practice surrender because it helps us release attachment. The benefit of Ishwar Pranidhan is Samadhi, which is the ultimate eighth step of the whole Yoga Sutras, anyway. And Samadhi is meditative contemplation where we are immersed in the present moment completely. The mind has become absolutely still without any modifications. Okay. Then he says, just by practicing one of the yamas or niyamas, we can reach the ultimate goal of samadhi, which is equanimity of mind. So powerful they are. Convert every work into yoga with the magic wand of the right attitude. Swami Shivananji. And this is a recap of all the 10 the yamas and the niyamas. So let's see. Is there anything else? No, that was my last slide. I will be now stopping the share and ask. We have time for questions. 1 second. So I'm stopping the share. I do have the handout which I will put in the chat, and then I will take the questions, okay? Here, that is the handout. Okay, everyone. Any questions, please raise your hand, and I'll do my best. Not an expert, but I will do my best. Or anything that resonated with you. Yeah.
You can unmute yourself and also speak.
Yeah.
Or you can put a question in the chat box also.
Yeah, that's also fine. Okay, Rajendra, yes, please go ahead. Mr. Rajendra, do you need help unmuting? Yeah,
Yes, ma'am. This
yeah,
Satya, you said that answer will come from our soul,
yeah.
but how we will differentiate between this a mind answer or soul answer?
Oh, what a great question. Okay. So, what happens is this is what I have understood, that we can either think from our head or we can think from our heart. The heart is the seat of the soul. So when the answer comes from the heart, it is from the soul automatically. Now the question is how to get out of head thinking and come into heart, because most of us are in the head, right?
Correct.
So that is the hard part, right? So there are a few ways. One is dancing. Very simple. When we put music on and we dance, we come into heart thinking automatically. So you dance on one song, you sit down, you keep your hand on your heart, and you ask yourself the question, whatever question it is. You will notice that the answer will be different from before dancing. So that is one idea. The second
Okay.
idea is, yeah, that's the easiest one. But the second one is you can just have your hand on your heart and close your eyes and meditate on your heart. So you connect with your heart and you ask, what does your heart want right now? So that's a daily practice. Daily practice, you ask your heart what it wants to do and you follow that. I'll give you an example
Yes.
because this is a very relevant question. Very relevant. And all questions are great. But suppose you have 15 minutes. Hmm. You have an option. You can either go for a walk outside or you can finish one more job that you need to do at work. Your mind will tell you, finish your work. But if you keep your hand on your heart and you just ask yourself, you close your eyes, most important, close your eyes and ask yourself, what do I feel like doing next? And it can be anything. It can be do work or it can be go walk. But
Mm.
the answer will come from a deeper place. So it's a daily practice to follow.
Okay.
And then you come into head thinking like it becomes a habit. And when we, sorry, not head, heart. And when we follow the heart, because it is it's our soul speaking, automatically we start seeing so much magic around us. It is so beautiful. And everything we want to do gets done very easily by following our heart without struggle. Okay? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Anupama. She's my sister. Don't ask me very hard questions. Okay? I'm your elder sister.
It- Uh, mhm. Just had a follow-up of the earlier question. I understand when you say that we dance and we come into our heart space and we can take decisions led by our heart. But going back to your earlier example where you said that if somebody asks you, how's the haircut? I've been
Hmm.
caught in such situations a few times where I didn't like the haircut at all.
Hmm. Right.
And if I lied to the person, I felt it was against my conscience and my values. But then
Right.
at that moment, I'm just finding it very funny to think that somebody asked me the question and I start dancing and then I'm led by my heart. So in this situation when I don't have an option to tap into my heart,
Hmm.
what do I do? Like this is like very
Yeah. Maybe you can say, let's dance first, then I'll tell you. Hmm. You know, um, first of all, if you listen to your heart every day, then the answer comes easily. Then you don't need to, yeah, that's because that's how we are living. Hmm. And I'm just thinking, if you were to ask me, suppose, and I didn't like your haircut, now I'm asking my heart, what would I like to tell you? And this is my answer, and your heart will give you own answer. Okay. But if I ask myself, the answer comes in Hindi and I can translate it later, but it says, अनुपमा तो तुम मुझे हमेशा ही अच्छी लगती है
Mm, okay, nice. And which
है
is
ना?
a that is a fact, right? Irrespective of the haircut, whether it's good or
Yeah,
bad, my
I always like
opinion
you.
about you
Huh.
doesn't change my opinion about you. Yeah, so
Hmm.
life is
I've
a way.
always liked you. Huh. I'm always fond of you. That's the sole answer. बट माय हेड वुड से हाँ थोड़ा यहाँ ठीक कटा होता यहाँ कम कटा होता यहाँ ज्यादा होता है ये लेयर होते तो इट वुड लुक मच बेटर सो दैट्स द हेड सो या
Okay, got it.
थैंक यू
Yeah, thank you.
yeah great all questions are welcome because
I,
it helps everyone
I just had
and
one more
as
question.
huh,
This surrendering to God, how do we practice that daily? Because I realize that it doesn't come naturally and it's very difficult to do it. And you said that chanting Om
oh,
108 times,
right
that also seems a little difficult in these
hmm.
fast-paced lives. Is
Hmm.
there any other thing that we could, for example, I was thinking
Ah,
I could chant Oms maybe over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. But the days
okay
have to rush to office and kids to school, the mornings are as it is so rushed. Then
right that's true okay so I can share what I do. And the other thing you can do is you can ask God yourself, how do I practice surrender? And you will be given the answer next few days. It will show up in a book or a YouTube reel somewhere. You will get the answer yourself how to practice surrender. Okay?
okay.
Which is for
Hmm.
you. I could tell you what I do. Would you still want to know or you want to
I would like to know what you do. I'm sure
like
everybody on the call would like to know.
okay, sure. So for me, I also keep forgetting. But now what I do is in the morning, I surrender my day to the God in the morning. Like this call also I surrendered. That whatever needs to come through, let it come through. I'm just a channel. I'm not the doer. And
Okay.
whoever I need to help today, may that person, whatever is my assignment for today, I imagine I'm an agent. I have an assignment. So maybe just smiling at someone, giving compliment to someone, whatever is my assignment, may that come to me. This day is totally surrendered to you, God. You are deciding what I'm doing today. And I keep asking my heart what to do next, what to do next. And my heart will keep telling me. And I see that God is telling me through my heart. And I tell you, I've had the best days because everything I do is God given. right?
Wow.
So
Thank you.
it's, yeah,
Yeah.
welcome. Okay, I saw some questions in the chat. First is how to be nice and kind to a person who's indulged in corrupt and wrong practices impacting social welfare. Thank you. Especially if you're from US right now with everything that's going on with the Trump administration, right? So this is what I do. Like I gave you the shopping cart example. I have an attachment to being a good person. That's why I'm judging people who are not behaving like me or doing the right thing. So there is a judgment there. I have found that everyone has a role. It's like we are all playing parts of a drama, of a play. And some people do become villains in the play. And because they are the villain, it brings out the hero in so many others. So some people need to play villains. That is their role. So I don't judge anyone to start with because I understand that they have been given a role. And who am I to judge them anyway? Okay. So it keeps my mind clear. It keeps my BP low, or not low, but normal, right? How far practicing ahimsa and satya are relevant today? My dear, they are as relevant as before, in my opinion. The whole thing is how aligned you are with your conscience. Yeah, if it troubles you to to be lying to someone or the violence, if it's troubling you and not allowing you to have peace of mind, it is not working for you. That's it. Okay. Any other questions?
Any last question we'll take?
Yeah, it is almost time. I don't know about you guys. I could stay back if people have questions for 10 more minutes. But otherwise, yeah, it's up to you guys. I can be here for 10 more minutes. I don't know, Dr. A.K. Sen Gupta, is that okay? You might need to go, right?
Let's wait for questions. If there are questions, we can wait always.
Because it is late for you guys now, right?
Any questions? Any other question? Okay, madam, it appears that there are no more questions. So in that case, on behalf of everybody present over here, I must say
Hmm.
thank you that you have taken all the way from the USA to be with here. And also, I thank you, Sis Anupama, who introduced you to us. And it was a
Hmm.
great we had. So thanks a lot. May God bless you in all your
Ah,
yogic thoughts, your yogic beliefs, your yogic actions. And look forward to seeing you some other time. Thank you very much.
yeah, thank you. And I saw one question in the chat. What should we do?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
It's okay? Okay. Yeah, so thank you so much, Dr. A.K. Gupta, for this opportunity to share with everyone. And thank you, all of you, for being a great audience. And I'll just continue with the question. How to be noble with someone who is backbiting behind? So, what happens is, at least I have come to learn that all these situations happen because we need to learn something. So, you can ask two questions to God. First question is, what do I need to learn? And the second question is, who can I help? So, somehow these two questions can help you understand the deeper meaning of what's going on. Yeah.
Thank you, then, madam. Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad.